Every single day, we're bombarded with messages telling us who to be, what to want, and how we should live our lives. But here's the truth that many won't tell you. The relentless pursuit of this idealized happiness is not only exhausting, it's misleading. Today, we're stepping back from the noise and diving deep into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. This ancient philosophy holds the keys to understanding what truly matters in life and how we can find authentic joy in a world that often seems designed to lead us astray. Join me as we unpack some powerful Stoic lessons that might just change the way you see everything. Let's clear away the clutter of daily distractions and focus on what's essential for a meaningful life. If you appreciate the insights we're exploring here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you don't skip any part of the video to fully embrace the transformative ideas we're about to dive into. Let's get started. This is something that might sound counterintuitive at first, especially in a world that often equates comfort with happiness. But let's peel back the layers a bit. Stoicism teaches us that true growth doesn't come from staying comfortable, but from challenging ourselves, from stepping into what might initially feel uncomfortable. You see, comfort is tricky. It's like sitting in a cozy, warm room while a storm rages outside. Sure, it feels safe and calm inside. But if we never venture out, we miss the cleansing rains, the refreshing air, and the lessons that challenges teach us. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, put it brilliantly when he said the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. What he meant is that life requires active engagement effort and sometimes grappling with difficulties, not just moving elegantly through routines that require minimal effort. Now, why is comfort considered an illusion? Because it often lulls us into a false sense of security. It makes us believe that as long as we're comfortable, everything is okay, which isn't necessarily true. Life is dynamic and full of change, and if we remain in our comfort zones, we risk becoming stagnant. When we're too comfortable, we're not being pushed to explore our boundaries, to innovate, or to improve ourselves. We stop learning, and in a sense, we stop truly living. But how do we step out of this comfort zone? It starts with small actions. It's about choosing to take on a new project at work that scares you a bit, speaking up when it's easier to stay silent, or committing to a new habit that disrupts your routine. Each step outside your comfort zone is a step towards growth. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to seek discomfort for its own sake. It encourages us to find the value in it. By embracing challenges, we also embrace the opportunity for wisdom and resilience. Think of a tree that withstands strong winds. It grows stronger from the resistance. Similarly, when we face and overcome challenges, we grow stronger, more capable. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us about amorphity, or love of fate. This means embracing everything that happens to us, including stepping out of our comfort zones, as something not just to be tolerated, but to be welcomed as part of our journey. It's about seeing every challenge, every bit of discomfort, as an essential piece of the puzzle. That is our life. In embracing the illusion of comfort, we also prepare ourselves for inevitable changes and hardships. We become more adaptable, more resilient, and ultimately more in tune with the true nature of our existence. It's easy to fall into the mindset that life, relationships, and careers should always meet our highest expectations. We dream big, which isn't inherently bad. But here's the catch: when our reality doesn't align with those lofty expectations, disappointment creeps in. Stoicism offers a profound perspective on this. It teaches us that while aiming high is good, clinging rigidly to specific outcomes can lead us down a path of frustration and dissatisfaction. Stoic wisdom, especially from thinkers like Epictetus, emphasizes the importance of focusing on what's within our control, our efforts. Absolutely the outcomes. Not so much. The thing about high expectations is that they often hinge on outcomes we can't control. You can study hard for an exam, but can you ensure a perfect score? You can be the best partner possible, but can you control all aspects of your relationship? The answer is no, and believing we can is where the trouble begins. Now you might be wondering, does that mean we shouldn't have expectations at all? Not exactly. It's about adjusting our expectations to be more about our actions and attitudes rather than the final outcomes. This Stoic practice is not about lowering standards, but about grounding our expectations in reality. It's about preparing for different possibilities and finding contentment, regardless of the external circumstances. Let's try to put this into practice. Say you're working on a project at work. Instead of fixating on the praise you expect delivering your best work. This shift in perspective reduces anxiety and builds a more stable sense of satisfaction because you're valuing your effort over the external validation. The Stoics also teach us about the concept of premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This is a practice where you visualize the worst-case scenarios in advance. It might sound a bit grim, but the idea is to diminish the impact of disappointments when and if they do occur by contemplating these potential challenges. You're not only preparing yourself for them, but also minimizing the surprise and emotional toll they might take by understanding and adjusting our expectations. We don't set ourselves up for repeated heartache, but instead cultivate a more resilient and joyful mindset. It's about embracing life as it comes, working hard, but also accepting that the universe doesn't always align with our desires. By doing so, we can find a profound peace and happiness that is not easily shaken by the twists and turns of fate relationships. Whether they are friendships, romantic partnerships, or even ties with colleagues, are not always meant to last forever. Understanding this can actually bring us a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Stoicism as a philosophy teaches us about the importance of living in accordance with nature. And just as seasons change and flowers bloom and wither, so too do relationships evolve and sometimes come to a natural end. This doesn't diminish their value. It simply reflects the reality of life's constant flux. Stoic thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the importance of accepting change as a natural part of existence, encouraging us to embrace rather than resist these natural transitions. When we cling to relationships that have run their course, we often find ourselves struggling against the current of life. It's like trying to hold on to the leaves in autumn. Eventually they must fall. And our attempts to hold them back can cause unnecessary pain. Instead, by acknowledging the impermanence of relationships, we can appreciate them more deeply while they exist and let them go with gratitude when the time comes. How do we apply this Stoic lesson to our everyday lives? It starts by recognizing and accepting that everyone has their path just as we grow and change. So do those around us. Friendships that were once close may become distant as individual needs and circumstances evolve. This isn't a failure on anyone's part. It's simply life. By expecting and accepting this, we reduce our suffering and the strain on our relationships. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us not to base our happiness solely on others. While relationships are significant and deeply enrich our lives, placing our entire emotional well-being in the hands of others is a recipe for disappointment. Instead, we should work on building a strong sense of self-sufficiency and inner resilience. This way, our happiness becomes less dependent on external factors, including the presence or absence of certain people in our lives. This is a principle that might initially seem daunting. However, from a Stoic perspective, it's essential for achieving anything worthwhile. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardships. It's also about understanding the true achievement often requires us to give something up in the pursuit of something greater. Think about the concept of sacrifice. It's not just about loss. In fact, in its most profound sense, sacrifice is about choice, choosing which values to prioritize and what lesser goods we might leave behind to attain greater ones. The Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus often discuss the importance of prioritizing our virtues over our vices, our long-term happiness over momentary pleasures, for example. Consider the pursuit of personal goals, whether it's advancing in your career, improving your health, or deepening your relationships. Each of these goals likely requires giving something up. You might sacrifice leisure time to study or work on a project, or perhaps forego immediate gratifications like social outings or indulgent foods to maintain a healthier lifestyle. These aren't just arbitrary sacrifices, they're investments in a future you deem more valuable. Stoicism teaches us about preferred indifference, things that are nice to have but are not essential to our moral and spiritual well-being. When we focus too much on accumulating these indifferents like wealth, fame, or even comfort, we can lose sight of what genuinely enriches our lives: virtue, wisdom, and integrity. Here's how we can apply this lesson. Start by identifying what's truly important to you. What are your core values and goals? Once you have clarity on these, look at what you currently spend your time and energy on. Are there activities or commitments that don't align with your values? Could these be the sacrifices needed to propel you towards your true aspirations? Moreover, Stoicism doesn't view sacrifices merely a means to an end. It sees it as a form of practice in self-discipline and focus, virtues that are valuable in themselves. Every sacrifice is a test of our ability to commit to our principles, and every successful sacrifice strengthens our character. Embracing sacrifice also means being prepared for the inevitable setbacks and failures that come with it. The path to any significant achievement isn't smooth. It's strewn with obstacles, but each obstacle overcome through sacrifice and perseverance becomes a stepping stone to greater personal and ethical growth. This one is crucial because love, often idealized in songs and stories, can sometimes lead us astray with unrealistic expectations and pursuits. Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective here, grounding our understanding of love in reality and self-sufficiency from a Stoic point of view. The common notion that we need to find love to complete us is a misconception. Stoics like Epictetus emphasize that true happiness comes from within and is not dependent on external factors, including relationships. This doesn't mean that Stoics value love less. Rather, they believe in loving in a way that is free from neediness and dependency. Think about it this way: when we believe that love is something that must be actively chased or sought, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. We might find ourselves in relationships not because they truly enrich our lives, but because we fear loneliness or societal pressures, or we might stay in unhealthy relationships due to a misplaced belief that love must be fought for, no matter the cost. Stoicism teaches us to invert this approach. Instead of searching outward for love to fill a void, we should cultivate a rich, fulfilling life independently when we focus on being our best selves, developing our virtues, pursuing our interests, and contributing to our communities. We become more naturally aligned with people who share our values and outlook on life. This shift in perspective brings about a more authentic form of love. It emerges not out of need, but out of mutual respect and genuine connection. Love found this way is healthier because it's not about two people using each other to fill gaps in their lives. It's about two complete individuals choosing to share their journeys, enriching each other's lives without becoming each other's emotional crutches. Moreover, embracing this Stoic view on love helps us maintain equanimity. Whether we're in a relationship or not, it frees us from the desperation of searching for someone to complete us and teaches us the importance of self-acceptance and self-love. This foundation makes us more capable of experiencing true unconditional love, both giving and receiving it, because our emotional well-being does not hinge on another person in practice. This means enjoying life's solo journey and treating relationships as a part of life's journey, not the destination. It's about being open to love that complements our lives, but not viewing it as a necessity for happiness. This perspective also encourages us to let go of relationships that no longer serve us, understanding that just as people come into our lives for a reason, they may also leave when that chapter is over. So by correcting the misconception of love, we embrace a more stoic and holistic approach to relationships. We learn to love freely without clinging and to live fully whether we are single or partnered. This lesson isn't just about romantic love. It's about all forms of love, including friendships and familiar relationships. It's about fostering connections that truly enhance our lives, based on a foundation of inner strength and self-sufficiency. Challenges us to critically examine popular beliefs and societal norms, not out of cynicism, but out of a desire for genuine understanding. And truth Stoicism teaches us that just because a belief is popular doesn't necessarily make it true or beneficial. This is crucial because following the crowd without reflection can lead us away from wisdom and personal authenticity. Stoic philosophy, as practiced by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, encourages us to develop our own reasoned convictions rather than simply adopting the views of the majority. This involves the practice of self-examination and independent thinking. Key aspects of Stoicism. They believe that the path to virtue and wisdom involves questioning and understanding the reasons behind our beliefs, ensuring they are grounded in rational thought and not merely in the popularity of the ideas. Consider how often societal norms dictate our major life decisions, what career paths we choose, how we define success, or even how we form relationships. These decisions can sometimes be so influenced by external expectations that we might find ourselves living a life that doesn't truly resonate with our inner values. The Stoics would argue that this uncritical conformity prevents us from living authentically and from achieving true happiness. To question the majority effectively, we need to cultivate a kind of intellectual bravery, a willingness to stand apart when necessary and to hold different views when reasoned judgment leads us there. This doesn't mean being contrary for the sake of it, but rather developing a thoughtful stance on issues informed by our own critical thinking and personal insights. How can we put this into practice? Start by engaging with a wide range of perspectives, especially those that challenge your existing views. Read broadly, listen to different voices, and engage in discussions that expose you to alternate viewpoints. This not only enriches your understanding, but also strengthens your ability to articulate your own views and defend them when necessary. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us the importance of introspection in developing our convictions. By regularly reflecting on our beliefs and the reasons behind them, we can ensure they are truly our own and not merely adopted from others. This reflection also helps us remain open to changing our views in light of new evidence or better arguments, which is a sign of intellectual maturity and flexibility. Embracing this Stoic lesson means recognizing that the path less traveled isn't necessarily lonelier or more arduous. It can often be the most rewarding. It leads to greater personal growth, deeper insights, and a more authentic life. So let's dare to question, to think for ourselves, and to live not by the light of prevailing norms, but by the light of our reason and reflective judgment. This is how we truly grow as individuals and contribute meaningfully to the world around us in today's fast-paced world, where instant gratification seems to be the norm. Patience might seem like an outdated virtue. However, Stoicism holds patience in high regard, viewing it not just as a virtue, but as a fundamental aspect of living wisely and well. Stoicism teaches us that patience is much more than just waiting passively for things to happen. It's an active, deliberate choice to maintain a calm and steady approach, regardless of external circumstances. The Stoics, like Epictetus, believe that developing patience is essential for maintaining inner peace and resilience in the face of life's challenges. They saw patience as a way to practice stoic endurance, enduring hardships without complaint and accepting life's ups and downs with equanimity. Consider how often we become frustrated or stressed because things aren't happening quickly enough. Whether it's in our career, progress, personal projects, or even relationships, this impatience can lead to hasty decisions, strained relationships, and ultimately regret. By cultivating patience, however, we learn to give processes their due time, allowing things to unfold naturally without forcing them. This not only brings better outcomes, but also reduces our daily stress levels. Patience also teaches us about the importance of timing in many areas of life. Timing can be everything. By rushing through decisions or actions, we risk missing out on opportunities that might have arisen had we waited a bit longer. Stoicism encourages us to see patience as a form of wisdom, recognizing that some things in life cannot be rushed and that trying to accelerate them might actually hinder our progress. How can we practice this in real life? Start by setting realistic expectations for how quickly things should happen. Whether it's personal goals, work projects, or changes you're hoping to see in your life, understand that meaningful results often take time. Next, incorporate mindfulness practices into your daily routine. Mindfulness helps us stay present in the moment, reducing our anxiety about the future and our impatience with the present. Moreover, Stoicism suggests reflecting on past experiences where patience paid off. Recall times when something you initially wanted didn't happen on your timeline, but in the end, the outcome was worth the wait. These reflections reinforce the benefits of patience and provide a practical reminder that good things often do come to those who wait. In embracing patience, we align ourselves more closely with the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature. Just as nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished, we too can achieve more by sometimes doing less by waiting. By practicing patience, this approach doesn't just help us manage our expectations and reduce stress. It enriches our interactions with others and deepens our understanding of life's rhythms. As we close today's journey through these Stoic teachings, remember the wisdom of patience. The courage in questioning and the freedom in letting go are not just lessons, but pathways to a deeper, more fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me here at Stoic Journal. If you found value in our discussion, consider watching one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue exploring how Stoicism can transform your daily life. Thank you for being part of this thoughtful community.